Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone on another episode of Sisters Hour. Just wanted to say Eid Mubarak, Selamat Hari Raya. This is our first episode since the Raya celebration. I hope that you're all keeping well and staying safe. It's been a bit of a mixed one this year for Raya, but I hope that you're all keeping well. It's in London for us. Alhamdulillah, since Monday, we've been, the ease of lockdown has opened up so that we can all start meeting up. So I hope that you've carried on with your celebrations and started to meet with your loved ones. I know that the other parts like Malaysia and Singapore, it's been the other way around. But again, we're praying that you're all staying safe and keeping well. We just wanted to welcome on board for all of those viewers who keep on joining us every week. Thank you so much for your wonderful support, and welcome to the new viewers who's tuning in today. We are starting our new theme of careers under the spotlight, and I'm really excited with this next guest because it's someone who I've crossed lives with before when I was younger, and I'm really happy that we're crossing lives again today. Just to touch on with careers under the spotlight is to look at another industry which we don't actually look at, which is the media industry. We watched loads of Netflix during this lockdown. We've been watching lots of news of what's been happening around the world, and I just think, gosh, how about the people that are working in this industry? What are they like, and how do they get into this career? So I just want to say again, I'm really pleased with my wonderful new guest that's coming in today, and she's coming in all the way from Singapore. Can you believe it? So without further ado, let me take her in. Let's see. Assalamu alaikum, Nusaibah. How are you? Oh, I'm having a little bit of a problem here. Let me start again. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Fatiha. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, welcome. I'm so sorry. We had a technical glitch just now. I couldn't hear you, but I can hear you clearly. Thumbs up, everyone who's watching us. Can you hear us well? And do let us know, where are you joining us in? Are you in London, or are you in Singapore like Nusaibah, or are you somewhere else? Just wanted to welcome Nusaibah and thank you for joining us today. Thank you for accepting our invitation. We're really, really excited because you are our first guest into this career under the spotlight. Now, just to let everyone know, like I said, when I was younger, I was studying in London and I met Nusaibah. Nusaibah, can you please tell us a little bit about your journey? When you were younger, how did you get to London and what were you studying?
Okay, so there's a funny story to it. Oh, first of all, Selamat Hari Raya, Fatiha.
Thank you.
After all that. Okay, so what happened was that I was from a commerce background. I took accounting, economics, business management for my A levels, and and pretty much I thought I was going into the finance sector in my career. And while waiting for A level results, so my brother actually told me like, "Hey, my friend is looking for an assistant producer in this particular production company. Go for it." Then I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "What does that do?" You know, like it sounds so serious and everything else. So he said, might as well while waiting for your results. So at that time I was just 18. I went for the interview and then I learned that, I was supposed to send emails like source for locations and sponsors, taking care of the crew and talents and everyone else. And I thought, yeah, okay, I can do that while waiting for my A-level results. So 3 months after that, I fell in love with the job. I loved the adrenaline rush. And because of that, I had to break the news to my parents that I wanted to switch major to media. So that's when I left for the UK, attended University of Westminster, and I took TV studies. And that's when I also met you during a netball match, isn't it? During one of the Malaysian games.
Mashallah, I never knew that you went to Westminster. I went to Westminster as well, but I did business studies. But but I think you're in the Central London branch, whereas I was.
Mine was in Harrow.
I was in Harrow.
No.
Mashallah. Viewers, this is real. this is me and Nusaibah just reaching out and not knowing. So we must have crossed paths during the library or during the canteen and never saw each other.
But
Amazing.
we met somewhere else at your makan cafe or at some netball match. Yeah.
Fantastic. So how did your parents take it from accountancy or the numbers to suddenly media? Did they take it well?
Yeah, I mean, there were some concerns initially, but Alhamdulillah, like my lead dad was very supportive of me, and yeah, my mom just followed suit, and my brother at that time he was also studying in London, so he said, yeah, I mean, might as well just come and pursue the studies there. So it was a big move, and yeah, definitely a wise one for me. I made a perfect choice.
Fantastic. No, that sounds really great. And I think that's the best part because growing up, no matter what you want to do, you have to be really transparent with your parents. And I think it's that communication and for them to have trust in you as well, because whatever it is that you do in life, you need your parents' prayers, you need their well-being so that they can always trust you and they know that you're going to do well. So I'm really happy that, it turned out. Alhamdulillah. So what happened? And once you graduated, you returned back to Singapore. How did your journey start then?
Yeah, I mean, initially I thought I was just going to come back for a while and go back to London again for my masters, but somewhat like after I came back, I got hired back by the same company that I left many years ago. So yeah, my journey continued from there. So it was fun starting off as a junior producer after I graduated, and then slowly climb up. And because I already had experience as an assistant producer, and also in London, I did some internship here and there, so I kind of like have an idea of what to expect during production. So yeah, then from there, and now moving forward, I'm actually running my own production company with a partner. So yeah, surviving.
Fantastic. No, it sounds great because I think I mean, I don't know personally about the media industry, and I always wondered who are these wonderful people behind the screen who create these wonderful programs, to the lighting, to the sound. It must be a big team that you work with. And do you work with a lot of people most of the time?
Yes, definitely. I mean, like, I'm like different companies run their production differently, but for me as the producer, yeah, I have to meet like the whole team because that's my job. I have to oversee a production from start to end. So I have to deal with I mean, I met directors, DOPs, director of photography, stylists, editors. I mean, like it's the whole team, and it's a huge responsibility, and it's definitely a stressful environment and challenging one as well. But yeah, each of their roles are just as challenging because we are constantly thinking to be creative all the way. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, but it's still a fun job for me, so I enjoyed it.
I mean, I come from a family of a family that runs a restaurant. So my world is all to do with food, catering, and services and things like that. But I can imagine your world, like you just said, with directors and stylists and makeup artists and all of this. It must be nice because you get to meet a lot of people, and like you said, it must be quite challenging at times because you have to communicate with a lot of people as well of what you want and how things are. In terms of communication, how do you keep that grounded? Because you need to have that kind of vision, the same vision, and kind of like communicate that well to everybody else. Is it something that you've learned along the way, or is it something that someone's taught you, like, Nusaibah, with these sort of people you need to be more directly, or with that sort of people you've got to be more sensitive in that way?
It's something that you learn along the way. So I've kind of like lost count how many programs I've produced, but each program definitely gives me like a lesson to learn, or more than one lesson to learn, like things that I know that I have to improve on in terms of communication, in terms of handling talents or handling different teams, different production teams. So yeah, so that's why they say, I mean, like the more experience you get, the easier it becomes. So that's how, and for us, like, it's always challenging for us to push our creative boundaries, especially in this new age, because we are not only producing content for free to air or even cable channels. There's like online content on so many platforms, and we are constantly, and the audience pattern in viewing like programs are changing. So it's like we are always pushing ourselves to produce the best content that we can come up with. So yeah, definitely it's something that you learn along the way.
For a lot of industries, I find that whenever you get to the top, it seems to be mostly mainly male dominated. Do you ever find it like that in your industry or with your other colleagues, with other male producers?
Okay, I mean, I can't. Fortunately for me, because I'm from Singapore, and I don't really have that issues, because producers or even for other roles get paid differently as it goes back to how much experience we have attained over the years, and yeah, we are like being paid to what we ask for based on our own merit. So, if you ask me, I don't really see much gender inequality on my end. Um, I'm not sure about other countries though, because I've never worked as a producer in other countries. I would love to, but yeah, I mean, for Singapore, um, nowadays, like, you can see there are more female producers, so that's a good sign. And even like DOPs as well, I'm beginning to see some other female DOPs, because like cameramen, you always see men, right? But now, yeah, you're starting to see others. Even directors, there's a growing number of female directors as well. So it's a nice setting for the female, for female producers, directors, editors, whoever wants to delve in this media industry. There, I mean, there's opportunities everywhere for the female now.
Oh, Alhamdulillah, that's so good to hear. And it's so good to know that where you are, like you said, that there's not that much of inequality, which means that, things are positive on your end. And I hope, like what you said, that there's going to be more growing numbers of, roles like directors and DOPs and things like that for these female figures. I wanted to ask you now, I know you just spoke earlier that you are married, you've got two beautiful girls. How do you manage that? I mean, you've got this career, you said it's stressful, you must have really long hours of work. How do you balance between life and, I mean, work life and home life?
Yeah, it gets crazy at times, but of course, first of all, you need to get tremendous family support, because this job like requires you to be away from home 12 to 16 hours, especially during filming season, and we hardly have any breaks until the whole shooting or the whole job is done. And there are times also where I'm required to go overseas for shoot, so that's again time away from family. And after that, once you have your own time, after there's like a production period where you just need to have some time to rest, you need to manage time to have like some time for yourself or for myself, so that there's like I can stay sane for, for a while. And then there are times also like I have to manage time for my kids, for my husband, for my mom. So like everyone gets like a piece of me. And yeah, then after that we need to set time aside for me and my team to think of future projects, like, so yeah, that little time we have, we really need to manage our time really, really carefully. And yeah, with a lot of hard work and determination. So that's kind of like pushing me to make sure everything is possible to do so.
Can I ask you, because you said you've traveled overseas and you did a program? Can you tell me that the one that you um, produced? It's in Sarajevo.
Oh, the drama, yeah, yeah. That was it was a 13 episode drama. So that was shot in Bosnia 2 years ago. And yeah, it was like very much an eye-opening experience, because it was set in the 90s, where there was a time during the Bosnian War, and we had to recreate some scenes, and then pulling it back to the current situation where this lover got reunited after that Bosnian War. So it was a pretty much a love story. But experience-wise, it was really nice, because the Bosnians are lovely people. They have lovely food and places to visit. And yeah, so that was the time I was away for 3 weeks.
Oh, Okay, that must, yeah, it must be quite long for your children to be away and for you yourself to be away from your family. But the opportunities that you get to travel to see another country and to shoot that, and I think it's really nice because I find I always wonder how do programs create these or have these ideas, because it's a country like Bosnia. What? Oh, I would never think that, and yet your team did think of it. And you also said about history as well. It's quite nice because I think we lose touch, especially in this time of age where we've got our phones with us, and yet we don't know much about countries, about history, even sadly our own history and our own culture. So, how do you guys think of these ideas, or is it like a large team that brainstorms it?
Not really. It started off with me and just my partner because every year our network has like open up pitching. There's like pitching season, so that's when we are constantly racking our brains for new ideas and everything else. And we are like thinking, okay, if we want to do a 13 episode drama, how different can this be? So that's when we decided to try Bosnia, because I mean, like, to break from other countries that I mean, we like to feature like Malaysia or Indonesia, other nearby countries. So this time we just want to go far, but it has to have a certain meaning. Like, what is it that make you want to shoot in Bosnia? What's the significance of it? So that way we know that okay, we have to touch on their history because they are known for their Bosnian War. It has that Islamic influences as well, and that's what we want to educate our viewers. So yeah, so we tie in the story back and forth, and honestly, that was a crazy production for me, but it was so worth it because at the end of the day, like yeah, it was well received, and we even won a silver award at the recent World Media Festival in Germany, Hamburg. So yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. Many congratulations on that fantastic award, because I think it just shows how well received it was, and the story was fantastic. The picture was great, and for your whole team to go there and to film everything as well. And I suppose you're working in the community for the Malays, right? You're creating programs and dramas for the Malays. Is there a particular type of story or a particular type of theme that you have to think about when you're showing or educating the Malay community?
Um, I mean, like, we do pitch a lot of ideas, and some are based on what the network wants us to pitch because they will just give a brief and then we'll just follow suit. But most of the time, like, there's always like themes, like whether it's love or family, relationship. So with that kind of just one word, that's how we actually have to expand our brain to explore 8 or 13 episodes of it. So that's when our creativity constantly are working, because there are like, I don't know, 50 or even 100 companies pitching for the same idea or for the same brief. So can you imagine like us trying to be different and trying to win that pitch? So that's how much like we are trying to be different from others. And like I said, I mean, now we are like producing content for not just free to air, but even for online, right? So the ideas that you have to expand are just so much that, and you just have to be different from others as well.
No, mashallah, I can definitely see it in the work that you've produced. And can I just add, you've also won gold as well for another drama. Can you tell us a little bit about that one as well?
Okay, that's a telemovie for Mother's Day last year. It's called, no, not last year, 2 years ago. It was called Mamaku Bibiku. So it's like my mother, my helper. So it was about this girl being raised by a deaf mom, who at the same time was also raised by her domestic Indonesian helper. So it's just that because the mother got so busy with her career and everything, and the girl actually seeks solace to her helper, which the helper actually stayed with her from since she was a baby up till she was like 15 years. So that's like a long time to be attached. And this was inspired by a personal story because my aunt's helper has been with us for 34 years. So even till today, she's still with us. So she's really like part of the family. And to get a helper that lasts as long as even 30 years, not even now, to last even 10 years, that's quite hard. So that's the thing that actually moved me. And when I actually discussed with my partner and my script writer, she added on another layer to make the mother deaf, so that's when the characters have to learn sign language. In terms of communication, like you said, communication is key in family, and that's what we also want to portray in this drama. So with all the different layers and elements added on, so I guess yeah, that makes it quite an interesting drama.
No, definitely. And I think it really suits with the community that's watching it because, like you said, our helpers are like our second mothers because our mothers are out there, trying to do their thing with their jobs and, of course, come back to their families. And as working mothers myself, you feel the guilt that you're not there for your children, but you have this woman at home who's there. And I think it's such a fantastic idea because how you portrayed this drama, I think it touched on a lot of people, and a lot of people could relate on that because everyone, most of the time, if you're working, you would have a helper and you do rely on that helper. So I think it's such a nice bond as well when you see the child, I think the relationship, the way you portrayed it was really great. And hats off again to your team for winning gold. And I think it's such a wonderful series. And if any one of you viewers, if you don't know what we're talking about, go on Nusaibah Rahim's Facebook page, look at what she's posted. It's again a wonderful drama. It's something that you can view online. Is that right, Nusaibah? Can we view it online?
Yes, yes. It's under Me Watch, and I also uploaded on my Vimeo. So yeah, I mean, I can actually link up on my Instagram and my Poetry in Motion Instagram as well.
Fantastic.
Mashallah, thank you so much, Fatia. I feel so embarrassed sharing about this, but yeah, thanks.
No, fantastic. And I think it's us, like the Malay community here in London, we want to, sometimes we want to reach back out to our homeland and see what's going on. And, as much as there's British dramas here, it's always that we like to watch back out, our homeland dramas. And it's something that we always feel that we can connect with as well. So, again, thank you so much, Nusaibah, and the team for, creating all these wonderful dramas and programs and educating us as well, because I think that's another thing that we need to remember from watching this. It's not just entertainment, but we learn a lot ourselves and how to deal with relationships, good ones, bad ones, and to explore other cultures. Because I think with the Bosnian one, I really felt that, I was like, gosh, sometimes we're in our own little bubble that we don't explore other cultures, or we live in a certain, environment that we don't know our neighbors as well, or things like that. So, we should be watching all of these good programs. So thank you again for sharing this.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank people who give me opportunities like in London, like Azman, because he actually gave me a chance to intern at his post-production house, and then Kak Zahara Othman, who was like a mother figure to me at the time, and she was the one who's always constantly with her camcorder recording, and I'm just like, wow, this woman is like a superwoman, because she herself at that time was managing like 3 kids, like her 3 kids were just like so young. No, not 3, 4. Like
Yeah.
so yeah, that's how I got my determination, and of course you have to have passion in this line. So without passion, I don't think you can survive. So that's just what keeps you moving forward.
No, and thank you for mentioning their names, because again, you're right. When you look at other people, they're your role models. You just think, gosh, if they can have a family and yet do what they're doing now and still carry on until this day. Auntie Zahra Osman, she came onto our Sisters Hour show as well. Till this day, that's what you see. Every time you see her, you see a camera on one of her right hand, and that's glued to it. So, and you're right, it's the passion, is what you love. And if you can, show it to others, it's fantastic. We actually have, funny enough, we have a question from one of our viewers, and it's my partner, Sarah Noor. She says, as a producer yourself, what is your favorite drama or movie? Really interesting to know what you would like to watch.
Oh, okay. Okay, I actually have quite a few movies, but most of them are quite old. And honestly, I watch them for entertainment, so don't judge, yeah. And also for work purposes at the time. So one of it, like Memento, I'm not sure if you have seen it. It's the way how it was edited and things like Kill Bill. At the time, I just love Tarantino's Kill Bill with Uma Thurman. That's just me. For sad movies, Fault in Our Stars. And I love animation. But for dramas, honestly, I'm inspired a lot by Shonda Rhimes. So, because she's the one who created a lot of seasons of Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, and of course Bridgerton. Like, I'm sure you know Bridgerton, yeah. So yeah, Shonda Rhimes is like a clear example of being a female producer, creative director, executive producer. She's holding like a lot on. She's having a lot on her plate, and yet she managed to deliver all this. So that's something that I would love to have, that kind of passion. So if only I can actually dig into her brain and see what her secrets are, that would be so awesome.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I just want to ask you, if you were to see your younger self, your graduated self today, what advice would you give to your younger self about progressing in this career? Because I think, we all, like you said, you always learn into different things. What's the one key thing that you would advise yourself about, becoming a producer right now?
Mm, it's about patience because we are constantly evolving in this media industry. So like you felt the rush and need to actually catch up. But it's actually more of learning, taking your time, understanding the whole media system, and um it's more like take things slow and not rush. Yeah. So yeah, patience is virtue, they say. So that's what I need to tell myself because I can just go crazy at times. So
I don't blame you. I think this is it's the era that
mm,
we live in. And it's funny that you say that, because yesterday I went out somewhere and I was holding my daughter's hand, and we literally just crossed the road, and the road gave me 10 seconds to cross. So do you understand? We live in this fast-paced world that everything is a timer and everything has to be quick, and we have deadlines, and we have, things that we must accomplish. And that's why I think that's how we are the way we are now, but thank you. Patience is a virtue. Definitely. We need to remember this. Um,
and I still keep telling myself that. So yeah.
Fantastic. My last thing I would like to ask, because it's something that the younger generation now is doing. I see my teenage daughter. She's really into this Japanese anime. She's loving the Korean dramas, and they themselves are more into the gadgets, into their screen times and things like that. And it's nice to know that they have a lot of content, but to kind of like kind of guide them to that journey if they wanted to go into this media industry and, for example, become like you, a wonderful producer. Is it a long road to go into? Is it a hard road to go into?
Um, you can say that because honestly, networking is also crucial. So when you actually intern or you get jobs, it's best to make friends with as many people as you can in the industry because you never know. Because eventually, this industry is quite small. You tend to meet them again when you're like going from jobs to jobs, especially when you're freelancing. So with networking, you can actually get opportunities here and there. And as a start, I mean, when I was interning, I didn't get paid. So it was something that what you need is experience. So you can't be choosy, you can't be fussy. I'm not sure about London, but in Singapore, the younger generations here do think a lot about money as a start. As like right after they graduate, they want to know how much is their starting pay and things like that. By right, it's something like you should know like how much experience you're gonna get first before you start, dwelling on it. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, your daughter can start off as an either assistant producer or production assistant. That's the way to climb up eventually. Because I was once, like I said, an assistant producer.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. I'll definitely tell her and she'll be so excited. So she'll be like, can I go to Singapore now?
Sure, she can work with me.
I'll tell her, inshallah. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on today, Nusaibah. It was really wonderful to hear from you, your journey as a producer. And it was, something that I've learned a lot myself, how creative this industry is and how competitive it is. Like what you said, 100 other companies you go pitching for the same thing. I always think that, it's not that big of a deal, there must be, only a small number, but you're right. It sounds like even though it's a small industry, but there's a lot of creative people out there. So I just wanted to wish you the very best of luck. And I hope that you continue to rock and do your best and, produce continuous amounts of wonderful programs and, get recognition for all the work that you do as well.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Fatiha, for having me on board. I was really shocked when you asked me to come. I was like, huh? Are you sure? So yeah, really honored. Thank you. And it's a nice session with you because last time we met was like in 2016. So hopefully we'll get to meet each other once this COVID goes away.
Yes, please. And definitely, I pray that we get to meet each other face to face once more, once everything is normal. I just wanted to say thank you so much, viewers, for tuning in and for listening. I hope that you had a good insight, just like me, and listening to Nusaibah and her journey at being a producer. And please do check out those dramas that she was saying. Nusaibah, you need to link us in to the comments later. Definitely, I'm going to be watching. If she wants silver and gold, come on, everyone, we need to watch it. It must be great. Definitely. So thank you again for coming on, and thank you, viewers, for watching us. And inshallah, we are going to continue with this career under the spotlight talk for the rest of Shawwal, hoping that you all stay safe and keeping well. Any last words, Nusaibah?
No, just stay safe and let's pray that this whole COVID situation goes away so that we can maybe I can even go to London for my next shoot.
Inshallah, we would love that.
I would love that. I miss London so much.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Thank you once again. And thank you, viewers, for coming on for Sisters Hour. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.